Channel, 62 people have been rescued. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, as well as French President Emmanuel Macron, have both been under pressure in recent weeks to show that they can control what is described as out-of-control migration. I'm Sue Guzman. This is Fox News.
Get Shell Fuel, get a free KFC Go Box, exclusively for Pacific Points members. Spend $30 or more on Shell Fuel and receive a KFC Go Box coupon. Enjoy your choice of either delicious chicken strips, premium nuggets, or hot wings, all served with fries. Not yet a Pacific Points member? Sign up now and download the app. Visit PacificPoints.com for details. So go well and get more with Shell, Pacific Points, and KFC.
Boss 104, The Point, Star 101, and Lotte Hotel Guam present the 2025 Island Wedding Expo. Mark the date, Saturday, June 14th. Join us as we showcase an abundance of elegant choices for your special day. Table spaces are now available, but hurry, they're filling up. If you're a business that caters to all things weddings, from coordinators, florists, cakes, photographers, and more, call 888-7346 and connect with Doris, Shanzi, Daryl, or Michelle. For more information about the 2025 Island Wedding Expo, call 888-RDIO, 888-7346.
Celebrating the 176th year anniversary of American President Lines. APL is a trusted partner to the U.S. government and its military. Our U.S. flagged vessels are proud to provide ocean transportation, logistics, and critical mission support worldwide, and most especially to our local partners right here on Guam and Saipan. APL has an extensive network that connects your shipping needs to anywhere in the world. The APL Guam team is dedicated and here to help you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com. APL Global Presence with a local home.
Listen to The Point anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Find your favorite stations like The Point and discover more. Music stations, local and trusted news sources, sports talk and team coverage, plus today's biggest podcasts. Find it all on the Odyssey app. AUDACY.
It is 1807 hours. It is time for Veterans with Benefits. Your host, Anthony Tyrone.
Half a day. Welcome back to the show. Once again, it's just Jose and I. We decided not to bring Karina again this week. I think after this week, she's not going to have a job. No, is that? Oh, that's not true. I'm sorry.
You weren't supposed to send that email out yet.
Oh, it's not out yet. Okay, all right. Anyway, so first we got to start off with our sponsors. We want to thank Ambrose Inc., Hebzibah Family Medical Clinic, American Legion, Post 1. I want to thank Master Blasters, 11Zs behind us. We were all just there. We normally go there. Thank you, Grace, for all of that. We really appreciate the fine drinks that you have there and your staff. Domino's Pizza, JTC Services, The Most Services, HMI, of course, that's our nonprofit group that's here to take care of our veterans. Okay, I don't believe we have a Veteran of the Week this week. We may have two next week, or we'll figure that out. And usually with your Veteran of the Week, we recognize them, talk about their service, and then Dane from Domino's gets them their free pizza. And every time I ask for it, they never give it to me. They eat the pizza themselves. They're not nice people. Anyway, okay, so the next part would be, I got to read the tip of the week. Oh, my goodness, my eyesight's getting bad. Okay, here we go. Wait, where did it go? Okay, criteria for expedited VA disability claim processing. The VA allows certain, oh, man, my phone, I need to change this phone. Certain claims to be expedited, processed more quickly when a veteran meets specific criteria based on serious medical or personal hardship. These policies are rooted in VA regulation and adjudication procedures. Number one, terminal illness. So claims involving a terminal illness are prioritized under what VA calls the Terry case. Terry status applies. Man, there you go. Applies when there is medical evidence indicating a terminal diagnosis. Example: hospice, cancer, with poor prognosis. Number two, homelessness. Claims submitted by veterans who are homeless or at risk of homelessness are prioritized. Veterans do not need a permanent address to apply. They can use a shelter or a representative's address. Severe financial hardship or bankruptcy. Claims may be expedited if the veteran is experiencing financial distress such as imminent eviction or foreclosure, utility shutoffs, bankruptcy proceedings. There are required documentation, notice of eviction, disconnection, or court documents, or statements from landlords or creditors. Advanced age. Claims for veterans aged 85 or older are automatically expedited. Former POWs, Medal of Honor, or Purple Heart recipients, claims from these individuals receive priority handling. Diagnosed with, oh man, they always do this to me, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. How to request expedited processing. Fill out Form VA 20-10207 and submit to the VA online or fax to 1-800, you fax it to 1-844-531-7818. All right, so that's the tip of the week. So let me go back to my notes. So I got the tip of the week. Oh, this is my part. I get to say hello to Knox and Aaliyah and to my mom. Okay. Our next boot camp from HMI is June 10 to 12 at Assen Mayor's office. So June 10, 11, and 12, that's usually Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's usually from 5:30 to 8:30. And we're going to feed you when you come there, so don't worry about going home to eat or trying to get some dinner. If you have a spouse, you should bring your spouse to this boot camp. This is going to help you with your claim and help them to be supportive of you. So that's what we're having. We have a couple of events that we need to talk about. So for those of you that are listening, we have our second annual HMI golf tournament that's coming up this Saturday. So if you haven't yet signed up, reach out to us on our email, which is veterans.hmiguam@gmail.com, or you could call 671-682-7631, and you can send a message there, and we could get you one of the registration forms, or you can register there at the Sono Felice golf course, which is the former Talafofu Golf Resort. So get on down there, pick up your registration and get going, because that's going to be something that's going to help our veterans. All the proceeds there go to taking care of our veterans. It goes to us getting funding for our boot camps and for any other events that we're going to do throughout the year. All the proceeds, again, go to HMI, which is where we take the money and help our veterans with their claims. Okay, what else do we got? Oh, there's going to be a golf ball drop. So this will be the second golf ball drop that we've done. Bella Wings through Charlie Hermosa is going to provide the drone. And with that drone, the balls are numbered 1 to 250. The balls are $25 a piece. So if you say you don't play golf, this is another way for you to donate to the cause by buying a golf ball. Now, the good thing is if your ball is the closest to the target or to the pin, you get to win $1,000. So that's not a bad investment. $25 to get to $1,000. So keep that in mind as well. So that's this weekend. If you're interested in volunteering and want to come out and help, we need volunteers. Reach out to us at the numbers and at our email, or you could just call into the station or call our producer, Jose. He works 24/7. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh no, not 24/7. Okay, no, just call us on our 682-7631 and leave a message, or else reach out to us on email. So, anyway, I think I've covered all of our things. Did I? Well, is there something else? What did we do last week?
That was enough.
That was enough.
Good stuff. Thank you.
All right. So now, folks that need no introduction. These are famous people. So we're going to start from our right, my right, and then we're going to go to our left and introduce everyone. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Antoinette Reeves. I am currently out at Anderson Air Force Base. I'm a social worker, and I'm here with my counterpart, which is...
Yeah, hey, good afternoon. Chris Raymond. I'm one of the mental health technicians, and I, again, work at the Anderson Mental Health Clinic out there.
All right. And then we have...
Hafa day, everyone. I'm James Cooperners. I'm the Deputy Director for Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center.
All right.
All right. Hafa day, everyone. My name is Kevin Dama'ala. I'm the Social Marketing and Communications Manager under Project PATH, which is under the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center's Prevention and Training Branch.
All right. Wow. So we have a studio full of really smart people that are here to talk a little bit more about our mental health month. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Awareness month, right? And so it's funny that we were supposed to have you guys on last week or the week before.
2 weeks ago.
Correct.
Yeah. So we were trying to get ahead of the whole idea of, really pushing this out. Have we had any events for mental health awareness already out there?
We have had a few events. I know on Anderson we've done a few things. One of the things that we've done this past week, we've done a post-it, positivity post-it. And so that involved where we also reached out to the schools on island and had 400 students participate. And that's just writing words of affirmation. And so we also did that on base, on Anderson Air Force Base, where they also wrote words of affirmation to patients within the med group.
Oh, very good. And I think we have some stuff going on with our Guam Behavioral Health as well this weekend.
Yes, we do. So to preface the weekend, we started the month off pretty strong. We had our proclamation signing to bring awareness to the month. So that happened on the 2nd.
Oh, okay.
That was at Adaloop. And then a couple days after that, on the 8th, was our Children's Jamboree. That was our annual kids fair that we had down at Skinner's Plaza.
Okay.
And getting to this weekend, though, we have our annual Jibwick Fair, or Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center Fair. That is taking place at the Agana Shopping Center from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay. So lots of stuff. Anything you want to add that's been going on?
Sure. We also have several trainings. So we have several publicly offered trainings, including things like suicide prevention training, mental health first aid trainings that have been going on throughout the month. This isn't the only time we're offering these, so I just want to make that clear. We regularly offer these trainings, and so that's a resource that's available to anyone in the community.
Very good. So being that you're not federal, that means you don't have to tell Elon the 5 things you do every week, right? No?
We try not to.
Okay. But have you guys been impacted by any of the stuff that's going on with, some of the funding, that they're cutting and trying to, equalize, I guess, if you will, with the federal government? On your end, have you guys been affected at all by that?
We have. We've been fortunate in that the impact has been minimal so far. Primarily, it's been some of the COVID money that I think was taken away from several just across the nation, several departments. We did a really good job of spending the money that we had down, and so there really wasn't much that went away. What we're challenged by now, as everyone else is what comes next.
Right, and I think we're trying to get our footing right now, right? We got our, what are we, May already, right? So this president has been in for 5 months, right? And then we had all the trying to figure out what's really going to happen, and now we're seeing, like, there's cuts, right? So I guess we'll figure that out now. I'm going to promote her, but I'm not going to pay her. So General Reeves is going to tell us a little bit about.
Let me correct, Captain.
Okay, all right. Well, around here in this studio, I get to promote you. But and you guys do a great job, and we really have to talk about a lot about this, right? And I'm sure in the minds of the people that you've helped, right, you're probably a general. So hopefully they can pay you and promote you to that rank at some point.
One day. I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. So tell us a little bit about what you might be hearing is happening even on your side, right? And you're on active duty, right? And Department of Defense is also seeing some cuts along the way too, right? So
absolutely. I think part of the thing that we've always struggled with, and I think we'll probably continue to struggle with, is getting funding for outreach, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
getting supplies and being able to fund the things that we normally have, like stress balls,
wow.
or simple things for us to be able to reach out to the base.
Yeah, I would say that one of the trends that we've seen, not just in the Air Force, but military-wide, is that and we were talking about this a little bit earlier at the coffee shop, of the stigma is kind of on its way out the door when it comes to mental health care. And so what we see with that has been an increase in demand for mental health, but not as equally matching of an increase of resources. And that's something that's a little bit behind the curve across the board. I think we see that in both the U.S. and then also what we see in the U.S. tends to replicate in the military as well.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this earlier before we came here, right, that it's a little bit more acceptable today, right, to really, go and seek some help. Right in the old days, right? Oh man, you said, "Oh, I'm going to go see someone." Oh, something's wrong. Something's really off with this guy, right? So today we're really making it a little bit more mainstream. Of, hey, if you need some help, go talk to somebody, right? And I think, especially our locals out here, right? We've been so far away from a lot of things. It's really difficult, right? And of course, with the technology and everything, we're now able to bring these folks to us and bring some things to us that might not be resources up front, but it's still things we can do even like virtually, right? And for us veterans, most of us, we're not big fans of the virtual thing. Some of us are okay with it, but I mean, it kind of helps. Like if I see you face to face, I get to press the flesh and, see you, right? I know you're a real person. And then later on, we get to meet on a virtual platform. I think we can get away with it a little bit. But, I think we really have to set that whole comfort zone for our veterans. And most of them are not as trusting with a lot of things. So that's something we got to do. I know on the active duty, you guys don't see too many veterans, right?
No, we do not.
Okay. But when we say that, though, you do take on some retirees.
No, we do not do that either.
So all active duty.
Yes,
well,
mostly active duty.
And maybe the way we can make that connection for us and from your standpoint to our veterans is, like we talked about earlier, right? If you guys get to take care of them before they get out of the service, right? That would definitely remove the impact of, the folks over at Guam Behavioral Health from needing to, capture somebody that may have fallen through the cracks, right? So this is where I think we were talking about how getting together is going to be helpful, right? And of course, for us on the veteran side, right, that's the future veterans that we're going to be taking care of. And when you take care of them on active duty, right, that makes it so much easier when they come out. As a matter of fact, what we should be doing is, from your standpoint, recommending that these guys that you're seeing take a look at the transition officer, right, on the way out, or NCO, and say, hey, look, make sure you file your claim if you have some issues, and make sure that, that's taken care of with the VA, whether they're retiring or just, leaving service. So that would really help on our end a great deal, because most of the folks that the Vietnam era, those guys don't do too much when it comes to, hey, I want to go see somebody, or hey, do I trust these people? They trust very few people, and the way they were treated when they came home is a reason why they fall into that category. And we still got to go capture them and find them and say, hey, look, this is the things we need to be doing. Here's what we have. Let's try and take care of you. You know, so that's the part we need to do. So far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely a difference between culture, right, and as far as like, you know, those that served before and those that are serving now,
Right.
And getting rid of the stigma, you know, as far as mental health goes. But in terms of transitioning them over to, you know, to civilian life or becoming a veteran, like we try to do our best to help with that. We have programs, TAPS, you know, the VA is a part of TAPS, right?
Yes, exactly.
With that.
Yes.
In our own individual sessions, we do talk about in transition, and we try to help them acclimate or get ready to transfer over to that civilian sector. So we do our best to talk to them and help them to understand, like, they should go after their benefits. They should do these things.
Right, yes.
So that they could continue to get the care that they need.
And the good thing is today, right, you folks are able to do that on active duty, so that really helps, right? Unlike years past, right? You were teasing me, right? How long ago was that? Anyway, it was a long time ago when I was in the service. There is no way you're going to say, oh, I'm going to go talk. Actually, what we used to do was, I think the chaplain was like the closest thing to somebody that provided some mental health, and it's not even, that's not even their field that's not their expertise, if you will. Now, we got somebody on the line, so if we could get on the, just in case it's for either of you. All right, here we go. Hello, can you hear us? Hello? Are you Terry?
Yeah, I'm here. This is Terry.
Hi, how can I help you, ma'am? We got you on the line.
Well, I'm calling in. I'm calling in reference to the Library of Congress Veterans History Project.
Hey, hi. Now I remember you. So thanks for calling. So tell us a little bit about your program. I think when we briefly met, you wanted to tell me that you're volunteering at the Library of Congress, and you wanted to reach out to all our veterans and try to set up a time to interview them so that their experiences from the military service is going to be put in the Library of Congress. What did you tell me? Forever.
Right, under the Folk Life Center that has the Veterans History Project, that the Library of Congress is responsible in capturing all the veteran story before, you know, they leave us. And the effort started in 2000, trying to capture the World War II veterans. So they opened it up to all veterans.
Now, okay.
And since I'm here for my high school reunion, I wanted to try to capture some of the veterans as much as I can.
Okay.
So, you know, to talk about your military career, it's all about the veterans and their military career.
All right.
And I do this at the library here in Agana.
Okay.
And I have it from Monday to Thursday.
All right.
From
what time?
9 to 4. And
oh, wow.
From 9 to 4. But I need to make sure that I set their times, because I give the veterans, 2 hours.
Okay.
And the requirement really is 30 minutes minimum, but 2 hours for you to talk about, your military story, which needs to be captured and archived forever and ever, Yes. And it's a great thing.
Yes, and
to do and try to capture our Chamorros and other veterans like the Filipinos that are here and anybody else, that's here.
Okay, and you're a veteran yourself, right?
I'm here.
Yes,
I'm retired Army.
All right, and did you already do your interview that's going to be there forever and ever in Library of Congress?
Oh, yes, I did.
All right.
I
Very
did in
nice.
2019 at the Library of Congress. And
okay.
That's when I asked, how do I do this to capture more of our stories of our people from Guam, and have it archived? So volunteer work.
thank you so much for what you do. And, you know, I know we met at the event at the Agana Shopping Center 2 weekends ago, and you were telling me this, and I didn't quite understand it. And then as I was thinking about it, I said, wow, that's a great thing that you're doing, right? And we do some of that here, but yours is Library of Congress, right? And that's something that, you know, our veterans should be looking at. And that video of that you take interviewing them could be something that they can use to share with Congress and share with everyone that, hey, there are veterans out here. Here are the things they're doing. And for us, a lot of the interviews that we've been doing kind of circle around their experience as a veteran out here and how it's been challenging and difficult, right? Sometimes when they're trying to get services out here, and you know, it's mental health awareness month, and that's why we have our guests in studio, and from everyone that we've spoken to and talked to, right, we don't have the resources that we need out here. And we just started talking about not having the funding sources for a lot of the things that we need, and yet, you know, there's a bigger need for us to take care of our folks on the mental health and behavioral side. So for your thing, when is the last day for them to come see you?
Yes, I leave on the 15th of June, so the last day for me in the library is on the 12th, which is Friday, because I need to spend time with my brother and sister here in Orchard and my aunties and uncles and family and friends. So, but I give time, 3 veterans at least Monday, and then 3 veterans on Tuesday. But like I said, it's 2 hours, so, and I only have till 4 o'clock. Before I could stop and clean up and leave the library before they close. So they just need to text me on WhatsApp. I do have WhatsApp, and I'm at 301-675-8518. And I've required some veterans already, just from friends and family who wants to share their brother or their sister or their mom and dad's story. And I've had, like, for this week, I'm all booked up already for the library, but next week I have some opening time, but I need the veterans to text me in WhatsApp with their name and their number, and I can call them and explain the program and explain, you know, what's going on, and give them some dates if they want to be interviewed, because this is the interview of your life while you were in active duty, right? What you do during the war, and you don't have to be a guy who went through battle. You could be a person who just did one term, and you could be in the peacetime zone and never been a battle. That's fine. It's your military career, and capturing, you know, the stories of our people is what drives me to do this. So please, if you want to tell your story so it can be archived forever and ever, and for your great-great-grandchildren to one day type in his great-great-grandfather and be able to see his story right there with his face right there, and pictures that he provided or she provided, right? So unlike yours, you know, it's all about the individual veteran. And I just want to flood it, you know, the Library of Congress Veteran History Project with Chamorros and Filipinos and anybody I can capture. You know, today I did a El Salvadoran American who married a Chamorro woman, you know, and I captured his story because he's here on Guam, you know, but it's for everybody.
And what I wanted to share with you, right, is be sure you get somebody to talk about that, you know, Guam was the only place in the United States that declared Year of the Veteran. So historically, no place in the United States ever did that. We did that last year. So this year, though, we also did the Year of the Veteran count and registry. So we've been having a tough time trying to capture all our veterans out here. And this is even more reason or way for us to do that, right? The governor and lieutenant governor have done this for the past 2 years, showing that, you know, they have, you know, support for our veterans. And we probably need more, right? Because even with the things that are going on outside of Guam, it requires us to really pay attention to the things and resources we have here to help us with what we're doing. But so you already announced when you're going to be down at the Hagåtña Library from, you said 9 to 4 every day, Monday through Friday, or Thursday through Friday? I'm sorry, Tuesday through Friday.
Monday to Thursday.
Monday through Thursday.
Because they close on Friday, and also Saturday morning because they open Saturday morning.
Okay.
But it must be, I have to pre-plan their
Yes.
time and day because, it has to be.
Okay. And have you gone on Ray's show already or not yet?
You talk about Gibson?
Yes. So maybe what we could do is we'll get your number down and we'll try to get you into Ray Gibson's show and he could probably talk about that. Okay. And you're also aware of our program. You also
already,
have. Okay, very good. And you also know that we are having a boot camp on in June, the second week. So 10, 11, and 12. So you're welcome to come to our boot camp, our claims boot camp, and you can meet all the veterans there, and you can pick up some folks you could take care of. Okay. So
right.
Okay.
I can do that. If I'm not with a veteran in the library, because like I said, I'm there all day.
Okay. Well, that's going to be in the evening. It's from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. But here's the deal: we're going to go to break.
Okay,
but thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it. We'll catch up a little bit. Okay.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
And
Thank you, Ms. Terry.
for letting me announce it.
Hey, no problem. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay, we're going to go to break. We'll be back. You're listening to The Point, 93.3, and we'll be right back.
Okay, what's instant issue?
You open an account, you receive your new debit card right then as an instant issue.
And if I have to replace my card for whatever reason?
Yep, you order, it's ready. No waiting for the mail. And you can track your usage on your online banking in real time.
Wait, I can see my purchase or ATM activity when they happen?
Yep, instantly.
I like it. Where do I sign up?
Bank Pacific. You know, Rose Book branches, replace routes instantly.
Member FDIC.
Hafa Guam golfers, get ready to swing for a great cause at the HMI Second Annual Veterans Golf Tournament. Join us for a day of fun and camaraderie while supporting our veterans. This year, you could win one of 2 hole-in-one prizes. Brand new cars from Nissan and AutoSpot. We're partnering with Chugach, MSC, and Ambrose to raise essential funds for veteran support, including VA claims and education. Plus, don't miss our second annual drone golf ball drop with a $1,000 cash prize up for grabs and a raffle for amazing prizes. Let's come together, enjoy the greens, and show our appreciation for those who served. Register today. Call Norma at 671-483-0184 or email veterans.hmiguam@gmail.com. Viva Veterans, Viva HMI.
And we're back. So you're listening to The Point, 93.3. This is Veterans with Benefits, and we have in our studio today folks from Guam Behavioral Health and from Anderson, so Air Force Base. So they're active duty folks. Be careful. Anyway, so Miss Karina had put some questions together and wanted them to kind of answer them. So we're going to take a look at these questions, and if we feel like it, we'll answer them. Mm-hmm. So, General Reeves, you go first. Okay, what do we got?
All right, so my first question is basically about Guam Behavioral Health and how long have Guam Behavioral Health been around? Like, how long has it been on island?
Sure. So it was actually established as its own entity in 1983. Prior to that, it was part of Guam Memorial Hospital. And then in 1983, legislation was enacted to create it as its own standalone entity. Although I don't think they moved out of Guam Memorial right away, so that's more of a recent development. And when I say recent, maybe in the last 20 years, 30 years.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys been around for quite some time?
Quite some time.
And do you folks take care of veterans inside the Guam Behavioral Health?
Sure. So our mandate is to offer services to anyone on the island that needs them.
Okay. Now, do you folks, so like the veterans, if they're like if they're receiving like VA benefits, right? Do you take like the Tri-West or the VA payment?
Absolutely.
Oh wow, interesting. So they usually just make appointments with you, and you guys figure out the payment process similar to what you would do if you went to like GMH or to a clinic.
That's right. And so we've tried to make the process even more simplified.
Okay.
So really, we're open 24/7. Anyone can walk in at any time. And when they walk in, they just request that they go through an intake that, just say that they want to sign up for services.
Okay.
They'll receive an intake assessment, and then that's where they'll collect any billing information. They'll, gather family history, mental health history, and that sort of thing, and start our process.
So you also take other insurances too?
We do.
Okay. Now, man, that's, a little bit of, because we as veterans, right? I mean, like the folks that we lean on quite heavily are folks like, of course, we got our CBOC up there, right? But the CBOC doesn't, when we go there, the VA just takes care of us, right? They hire people and they do all that. If we come to you folks, right, this would be the VA paying you, right? What has your experience been with like payment? Do you guys have a tough time with them also?
I haven't heard any of any major issues with the VA. I'll say this though, because our mandate is to serve anyone on island that needs support. We have the ability to provide services to folks, who have difficulty paying or have challenges even with their insurance. So we'll work with insurances. We'll work with them if they have to go on like a sliding scale
right.
Fee, whatever it is we need to do to make the services accessible.
Wow. So for all you veterans that are listening out there, this is another resource that we have. Now, when you talk about personnel, how are you having any difficulty keeping personnel or having personnel there to take care of our veterans?
Not necessarily in terms of keeping personnel. I would say more recently we've seen an uptick in folks interested in becoming social workers and counselors, which is great. We're also seeing an uptick in folks interested in becoming providers or having been credentialed as a provider, as a psychiatrist or a nurse practitioner. So we're seeing increases in folks contacting us, trying to see if we have any openings.
All right. Now you take folks like, so we have like in our neighboring Asian region, we have folks that are like in the Philippines or in Thailand or these other, Japan or Korea, right? Is the training from that side of the world accepted over here at Guam Behavioral Health?
That is a piece that I know we're working in partnership with, like the various allied boards, the licensure boards.
Okay.
We do have instances where folks are coming from having been trained in, say, the Philippines,
right.
Where perhaps they have the backdrop of experience, but they don't necessarily meet the U.S. standards for things like an internship that they had to perform
right.
like in the United States. So we'll work with that person. If they're someone that would be a worthwhile hire and a benefit to the community, then we'll work with that person to find some kind of work that would be where they can earn their hours and be able to be locally licensed and be able to serve in that manner.
Awesome.
And we do offer, apart from like full employment or classified employment in the Gov Guam system, we also offer volunteer and stipend opportunities for a lot of folks. So there's these opportunities for folks to gain credential just by virtue of the experience that they'd gain working at Guam Behavioral.
That is so cool. I am so glad you sent them here, General.
You're welcome.
Okay, and do you have do we have another question that we needed to talk about?
I do. I want to piggyback off of your question.
Okay, go ahead.
I guess the same kind of question as it relates to like dependents, like active duty dependents, and how does Guam Behavior Health help active duty dependents?
That is also a population that we'll serve. I think, and I'll just call out sort of specific examples, but there are situations where let's say there's an active duty personnel dependent who needs services that are beyond what can be offered here on island. In those situations, we'll actually work with the military to identify, what do we need to do to help support this person being able to transport off island to receive that care. And that's a really specific instance. In most situations, we enroll folks, whether they're dependents or not, whether they're veterans or the local community. We just enroll people and provide services that they need.
Okay. And does that include children?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, wow. We have that robust of a program over there at Guam Behavioral Health?
I'd like to think so.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. No, and we should, right? I mean, I like to hear that, right? Because many of the things we talk about is that we don't have, a lot of resources, but in fact, you're telling us that, there's the ability for folks to come to you and we need that, especially when, from my standpoint, if our veterans are in crisis, right, you're there 24/7. So that should never, ever be a question. And what we talked about earlier, right, about, if the VA is going to pay for these veterans if they're in crisis, I don't know why we haven't billed the VA for that already. And maybe, there could be the ability for us to even back bill them for things that you might have already done to take care of those veterans. And if they're in your care for 30 days, up to 30 days, I think the VA pays for that. So I don't know why you, see, General, this is why you are so important. We need to promote you. You brought him here and we just solved a problem. But
I could give you the name to my bosses.
Well, I know the Don. Anyway, but yes, and this is great, and I'm so happy we're here talking about this, right? And this is awesome. So, did we have another question that we needed to talk about?
I just want to ask an additional question concerning the children. Like, is there an age group, or is there age limitation to what you see, or where do you start as far as?
Regularly, we'll enroll kids as young as 5.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll see them all the way up through age 17. Although, we do have kids who are on an individualized education plan, so they're continuing their schooling. And in those situations, we can see kids up to age 21. Now we have been probably for just under the last year or so piloting a new evidence-based practice with several of our children's team clinicians. So they've been trained with parent-child interaction therapy, PCIT, and so they're starting to see kids as young as 3 now to be able to round out their training and be able to make that a broader offer.
Okay, that's awesome.
So there's one guy that hasn't been saying too much, and he's from Agate, and I heard Agate rules. So, you have any questions, sir?
I cannot dispute that. So far, I'm more of a listener. I like to hear what people have to say. No questions from me at this moment.
Okay, and I'd really like to maybe go over a little bit more, and we could always get you guys back on here to specifically speak to, your veteran program that you might be having. We get the what was the team you called? Your veteran team.
Oh, we don't have a specific team. We have services for adults and we have services for youth, and so depending on the age of the individual that comes in, they'll sort of.
I think there was the team that you put together. Like, let's say a veteran calls and he says he's in crisis, right?
Oh, I see. So we're starting to pilot a mobile crisis response.
That's what it's
team.
called. Okay.
And it's a service really for it's a service for now. For folks that are enrolled in our services, although we're looking to expand this to be a service available to anyone on the island. And so stay tuned for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. And obviously because we're a veteran show, that's something that we're looking at, right? And, we do have some folks that are out there. We've been made to believe from, the folks in the VA that, there is a shortage of, services out here. But hearing from you, I think maybe that's something that we probably need to be doing a little bit more of, right, or partnering a little bit more of. We've been sending folks to Dr. Andrea Lighthizer, as well as Dr. Root, More recently, over at Total Guam, we've been sending our veterans to McClure. And when we say we're sending them there, right, so some of the things that we look at from our standpoint is how do we take care of our veterans? And we feel that the foundation for our veterans is, one, getting them to apply for their benefits and to apply for their health care. And if they're able to take care of those two pieces, right, we start, building upon that, right? Because now they can go to a doctor or to a mental health professional and get the things that they need, right? Because, if they're not getting any care or help, it's really it's gonna creep up. If they're not getting compensation, right, that whole money issue is a big deal also. So if we're able to, at least get those two things started, right? Now they're in the system, right? And now we start looking at where else can they go to get more help. And then we build upon that and, just community. We found a 80-some-year-old veteran that we took care of, but I think we'll discuss that a little bit more when we come back. So you're listening to Veterans with Benefits on The Point at 93.3, and we'll be right back after this break.
Get Shell Fuel, get a free KFC Go Box exclusively for Pacific Points members. Spend $30 or more on Shell Fuel and receive a KFC Go Box coupon. Enjoy your choice of either delicious chicken strips, premium nuggets, or hot wings, all served with fries. Not yet a Pacific Points member? Sign up now and download the app. Visit PacificPoints.com for details. So go well and get more with Shell, Pacific Points, and KFC.
Boss 104, The Point, Star 101, and Lotte Hotel Guam present the 2025 Island Wedding Expo. Mark the date, Saturday, June 14th. Join us as we showcase an abundance of elegant choices for your special day. Table spaces are now available, but hurry, they're filling up. If you're a business that caters to all things weddings, from coordinators, florists, cakes, photographers, and more, call 888-7346 and connect with Doris, Shanzi, Daryl, or Michelle. For more information about the 2025 Island Wedding Expo, call 888-RDIO, 888-7346.
Hi, this is Jerry Roberts. What's happening in the workplace? What about your job and career? What ideas will find their way into your world? That's what you get with the Extra Point every day on The Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 FM. Sometimes it's about what's in the news, or working relationships, or how to get further and do better. I try to make it interesting, inspiring, and hopefully sneak a little fun in too. Be a part of it. 7:25 weekday mornings. The Extra Point. Brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
Okay, and we're back. So this is Veterans with Benefits. This is The Point, 93.3. We have these wonderful folks here from the Anderson Air Force Base and from Guam Behavioral Health. So, in line with the Mental Health Awareness Month. Am I saying that correct? Yes, we have these folks here to share a lot of great information that, we can all take advantage of. So we were talking last about the crisis team. Mm-hmm. So you said that's going to be moving on a little bit more.
Yeah, we're expanding that program.
Okay, very good. And anybody can come up to behavioral health, and they do take TriWest. They do take most insurances, if not all, right? And then if they're having a tough time, they can work on a sliding scale for payment, or you guys will work that piece out, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're listening out there and you're a veteran and you need any help, you can get over to the Guam Behavioral Health and sign in. They're 24/7, so you always have somewhere to go and something to do to try to take care of you. So anything else any other questions we wanted to touch on, or issues that we think are needed? You had something, General.
I always have something.
Yeah.
I guess for Mental Health Awareness Month, since we have just a few minutes, is just to talk about coping, and I know on island, us being active duty, right, we're not from Guam, But what would be some like advice that you'd give as far as, you know, those that are coming to the island of Guam and things that can help prevent, like, you know, mental health issues?
Having been a recent transplant myself within the last 3 years, I can, and this is coming from someone who was born and raised here, I can tell you, you know, there is a cultural shift, right, that folks have to sort of make whenever you're moving to any new place, but certainly thousands of miles from the mainland. You know, I think doing your research is a big thing. So just kind of knowing more about the place that you're going is probably a big key. Finding community is huge. Absolutely. And it doesn't necessarily, I mean, you know, community can be found in different spaces, right? It can be community that you establish, like if you're an active duty service member within your teams, right? Or it could be, gosh, there was a pet day down at EPOW a couple weekends ago. Like it could be finding a community with other, you know, pet lovers, right? Or whatever it is that where you find joy and the ability to kind of step out of spaces that you might find yourself struggling in otherwise. So I would say those are probably the big two things.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. You know, I agree in terms of like connectedness and finding connections within your area to be able to thrive, you know, with your mental health. So thank you.
And just to add on to that, right? I mean, for the two of you that have come here as, you know, service members, right? How do you see the island, and are they very like, is this like New York City where they're very firm and
New York City.
What? So this is my second tour on an island assignment. I was stationed at another one that was actually much smaller than Guam years ago, and I think it's really all about the mindset, right?
Right.
We have, you know, the grass is always greener kind of saying, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I think one of the biggest struggles that we often see with first-time new enlisted folks just getting to the base, there's a whole lot of kind of shock to the system, being on their own for the first time, trying to fit in where they're at, trying to learn a new job, and some of that they may attribute wrongly to like the place that they're at, right? And so there's a bit of an adaptation period that goes there, but I've been at a lot of bases in my career. I've been in for a minute, and it doesn't matter where you're stationed. There's always that mindset of, you know, they either make it into a good assignment or they don't. And it's
up to the person, right? And
yeah.
a lot of times it's yourself, right? I mean, it's like the saying, right? The only person that can make you happy is yourself, right? So you got to look at, hey, is there something here that I can do? Now, would you say that a lot of the folks that you meet here are like standoffish, or like, no, we're not, or are they more like welcoming and inclusive?
Oh no, Guam's been
pretty inclusive.
Yeah.
I have not had any issues with anyone here from Guam. Like,
and you're getting
I live
promoted.
off base.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. Very nice. No. And I guess your neighbors are nice too.
Very nice.
What village are you in?
Especially the kids. You know, like I feel like they're my kids.
Oh, wow, that's so nice, right? But then you come from an island too, right? So
I'm from Jamaica.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So I promised you guys 10 seconds of fame, right? 10 or 2? 2 seconds. Okay, so let's get it out of the way. So you. Oh, we're gonna start it. Oh, we're gonna start it. Yeah. So
Awesome.
you get to say hello to whoever you want and say whatever it is you. Within reason.
Okay. Awesome. I have to say hi to my mom.
All right.
First of all, and then have to say hi to my dog.
Yes.
My dog Winston.
All right.
All right. Okay, so those are my shout outs, but I just also want to plug again, our Jibwick Fair is this coming weekend, Saturday, May 24th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Agana Shopping Center.
Awesome.
We hope to see you there. Please.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead, sir. You're next.
Sure. I guess quick shout out to my wife, Tracy, my son, Noah, my mom.
All right.
Our dogs. And then also just want to do a quick plug for our 988 Crisis Lifeline.
Yes.
Available also 24/7 to anyone in the community. They can call in anytime they are looking for help and support.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. My wife, Kate, and son, Sam, and our dogs, but also our team that didn't make it out here tonight.
Oh.
Back at the mental health team back at Anderson.
Woo-hoo!
So, yeah.
Yes. Awesome. And that's great. I'm really glad you guys are talking about all the help behind just the two of you. It's not just you two. There's a whole slew of folks.
Oh, yeah.
Takes a village.
There's a whole team.
There you go. All right, General.
All right, yes. Shout out to our mental health team. You guys have been doing a fantastic job. I also want to give a shout out to McCool Elementary School.
All right.
And for Guam High School and Anderson Elementary and Middle School. They all participated in Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I just want to give a shout out for all of those kids that participated with that. Also want to give a shout out to my husband, Yadi Reeves, and my daughters, Anala and Ava. They're awesome. Hey, they're part of my mental health care.
Very good. All right. Hey, thanks everyone. It looks like we're out of time now. I want to thank you guys all for coming here, and we'll do it again. So we're here every Monday. So just make some time, and we'll take care of this. All right. Thanks, Jose. Thanks everyone. We'll see you again next Monday.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3
Sue Guzman, Fox
HD3.
News, and President Trump's so-called big, beautiful budget bill passed a key hurdle in the House of Representatives Sunday night, with 4 Republican holdouts voting present.
Mr. Norman.
Present.
Mr. Norman, present. Mr. McClintock.
Aye.
Mr. McClintock, aye. Mr. Grothman. Mr. Grothman, aye. Mr. Smucker. Aye. Mr. Smucker, aye. Mr. Carter.
Aye.
Mr. Carter, aye.
And a vote via the full chamber is expected this week. Former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with advanced cancer. We have details from Fox's Jill Nadeau.
His office says former President Biden was seen last week by doctors after urinary symptoms, and they found a prostate nodule. Now they say he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and some of those cancer cells have spread to the bone. His office said while this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. The Mayo Clinic says prostate cancer is one of the most common types of cancer, and it often grows slowly. Jill Nadeau, Fox News.
7 inmates still on the run after 10 broke out of a New Orleans jail Friday. Louisiana State Police Superintendent Colonel Robert P. Hodges.
We're confident this time that we have actionable intelligence on all 7 of those fugitives. And we hope in the coming days, if not the coming hours, that we have them all apprehended. But we need the public's help.
New Jersey Transit trains will begin operating again Tuesday after the agency reached a deal with striking rail engineers on wage increases. NJ Transit President Chris Calori.
The deal, as the governor correctly said, was fair and fiscally responsible. I think I've said it over 1,000 times now that we have always sought just that it was a deal that had to be both, not just one.
America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your